Blind Cinderella. Once upon a time, in the quiet English town of Ashbourne, there lived a girl named Eleanor. She was not just any girl. She was breathtakingly beautiful, with cascading auburn hair and a voice that could melt the coldest hearts. But unlike the fair maidens of old tales, Eleanor could not see the world's beauty. She had been blind since birth. Her father, Lord Harrington, was a kind but weak man who remarried after Eleanor's mother passed away. His new wife, Lady Beatrice, was a woman of sharp wit but a sharper tongue. With her came her two daughters, Charlotte and Edith, both blessed with sight but lacking in kindness. Lady Beatrice despised Eleanor, for in spite of her blindness, she was adored by the townsfolk. She could play the piano like an angel, weave stories that captured the hearts of listeners, and recognize people by the sound of their footsteps. But most of all, her gentle nature made her loved. When Lord Harrington passed away suddenly, Eleanor's world darkened further. Lady Beatrice reduced her to a servant in her own home. She was made to cook, clean, and serve her stepsisters while they spent their days at lavish parties. The townsfolk whispered in anger, but none dared to oppose Lady Beatrice's rule. The royal invitation. One evening, a grand announcement swept through Ashbourne. Prince Edmund of Wessex was hosting a grand ball to find a bride. Every noble family was invited. Lady Beatrice, determined that one of her daughters would marry the prince, set off to prepare their gowns. Eleanor, of course, was forbidden to go. "You? At the ball?" Charlotte sneered. "What use is a blind girl at a dance? How will you even know if the prince is handsome?" The laughter of her stepsisters stung, but Eleanor remained silent. That night, after they left, she sat by the cold fireplace, tracing invisible patterns in the ash with her fingers. It was then she heard the soft rustle of skirts. "Do not weep, dear one," came an old, trembling voice. It was Granny Margaret, the town's healer and a dear friend of Eleanor's late mother. With a chuckle, Granny Margaret took Eleanor's hands and whispered an incantation. A gentle wind swirled around them, and suddenly, Eleanor felt the touch of silk on her skin. She reached out and felt the weight of a delicate mask on her face. "This mask is enchanted," Granny Margaret said. "It will let you see through the eyes of others for one night only. But be warned, when the final bell tolls at midnight, the magic will fade." Eleanor gasped, her fingers trembling as she traced the mask's delicate lace. For the first time, she would experience the world in a way she never had before. The ball, with Granny Margaret's help, Eleanor arrived at the palace, unnoticed among the noble guests. Her heart pounded as she stepped onto the polished marble floor. Through the mask's magic, she could see, not as one sees with their own eyes, but by sensing the emotions and movements of those around her. Colors were whispers, faces were warm echoes, and the world was an intricate dance of light and sound. And then she met him. Prince Edmund was kind, his voice rich with curiosity. Unlike the other ladies who vied for his attention, Eleanor did not try to impress him. Instead, they talked about music, about the feel of rain on one's skin, about the warmth of a fire on a cold night. She told him what it was like to see the world differently. "You are unlike anyone I have ever met," he murmured, holding her hand as they danced. But just as Eleanor felt truly happy, the clock began to chime. 12 strikes. The magic shattered. Darkness swallowed her vision. The mask vanished, and before anyone could notice, she fled, leaving behind only a single silk glove in her haste. The search. The next morning, the kingdom buzzed with news. The prince was searching for the mystery lady, the one who had disappeared, leaving only a silk glove behind. Lady Beatrice scoffed. "That fool of a prince, searching for a woman based on a glove? Ridiculous." Eleanor, heartbroken, sat quietly in the kitchen, tracing the empty space where her mask had been. Days later, Prince Edmund arrived at their estate. He carried the glove, his expression firm. One by one, Charlotte and Edith tried it on. Too small, too loose. Then, Eleanor felt a warm hand take hers. "May I?" Edmund asked gently. Lady Beatrice opened her mouth to protest, but the prince had already slipped the glove onto Eleanor's hand. It fit perfectly. She did not need to see his face to know he was smiling. Happily ever after. Eleanor became a princess, not because of her beauty, nor because of magic, but because she had captured the heart of a man who saw her for who she truly was. And though she never regained her sight, she never needed to. For love, after all, is not seen with the eyes, but with the heart.